Welcome, true believers, to Deck-celsior, a podcast about the Marvel Champions living card game by Fantasy Flight Games. I am your host, I am John, and I am so excited to kick this thing off. We're going to have so much fun tonight. I am not alone, though. I am some amazing co-hosts with me. Let's start things off with Sam. What's up, Sam?
Hey, John, I'm doing good. Just got into college, so life's pretty big.
Woo, college life. All right. Sam, I have a question for you.
Shoot.
All right. I want you to tell me, who is your favorite villain in all of Marvel?
If we're talking the comic books, I have no clue because I don't really read the comic books. If we're going to talk about the movies, and I don't want to spoil it, but it'd have to be Mysterio, just because of some of the scenes in Far.
That's it. No more.
No spoilers.
I've not seen it yet. I have not seen it.
If you've seen the movie, you'll know.
Our next down the pipe, we have Ben. How's it going, Ben?
Oh, it's going pretty good. Very excited.
Ben, I want you to give the listeners your best evil laugh. I love it. That's awesome. Oh, man. All right, next up, we've got Matt. What's up, Matt?
Recording a podcast. What's up with you?
No, I'm recording a podcast. You're recording a podcast?
Oh, wow.
What?
A coincidence.
Oh, my gosh. Mine's
Crazy.
about the Marvel Champions, the living card game by Fantasy Flight Games.
So's mine.
Oh, my gosh. All right, Matt, for you, so that you know, listeners, he is our go-to lore guy. So, Matt, I want you to give us your most obscure comic lore that you don't think anybody, at least anybody here, of us five, anybody knows.
Okay, so in Guardians of the Galaxy, the giant space head Nowhere. In the comics, that exists too, but there's a guy in charge of security. His name is Cosmo. But the thing is, he's a Russian, communist, telepathic space dog. And ended up lost in nowhere because that's where it exists at the edge of time and reality.
That's amazing.
And he's in charge of security.
I'm so glad I asked that question.
Where is this dog? I need to meet him.
Oh my gosh.
And he's a fan of Tolstoy.
Oh, of course. Why wouldn't he be?
Yeah.
He has class.
We have one more amazing co-host, Carlos. How's it going, Carlos?
Hello, how's it going?
It is going great. Oh, yes. Matt just posted another comic in the Discord chat. I have to read this later. Carlos, okay, your question. If you were on a deserted island and you could only take one comic book with you, just a comic book, what would it be?
So it's not a series, just like
A singular comic book.
Superman Red Son,
Okay, why is that?
because I think it's amazing, and I really, really liked it. I love the whole twist on it, and I really like the questions and discussions you can have about it when it ends.
Okay, interesting. I'll have to read it. I've not read that yet, so I may have to look into that.
It's very interesting, and it kind of like, it's like if Superman took the communist ideals to heart,
Oh my gosh.
and he's like, oh, sorry about that.
Ah, we ruined it.
We get one on the podcast.
We get one on the podcast.
Screw
that's
you,
just rated
Stalin.
PG-13.
And he's like, yeah. He's like, screw you, Stalin. I'm going to run this show now. And the workers are going to get what they need.
Cap. Language.
No, I need to find a soundboard and just like whenever that has, or like edit this and be like, language. That's going to be our beep instead of.
You should use like a kapow, something like that.
Yeah. Listeners, we are going to try to keep this family friendly, just so you know. We'll try to fix what we can in post, but we are going to try to keep this family friendly for you all, because we know that Marvel appeals to many ages, and we want as many ages as we can to be listening to this podcast. We want to put it out there for you all.
The
We
more
want as many-
we mess up, the more fun I get to have editing.
Exactly. Sam is our editor-in-chief. Thank you for that, Sam.
Oh, anytime. If
Okay.
I get to input random noises over curse words, I'll have.
Okay, let's go on to our first topic for tonight. Let's talk about ourselves, guys. Let's just just pull up a little chair and talk about ourselves. You know, let's talk about our feelings. No, let's talk about who we are and why are we so excited, guys. So let's just go down the horn. Sam, tell us about yourself, man.
Okay, so I am 18. I recently just moved into college. I'm going to Westchester University for music composition. I mostly am super excited for this game because when I got to Gen Con this year, I knew they were announcing a new game that Caleb worked on. I didn't know what it was. I had no information. All I knew is there was a new game. And I was absolutely blown away when they announced that it was a Marvel game. And they announced that it was a cooperative LCG. So immediately my interest spiked, like without even knowing any mechanics or anything. And then they explained a lot of the mechanics, like the double-sided heroes, and I fell in love with it instantly.
Nice. All right, next up, Ben. Tell us about yourself, man. Who are you, and why are you excited to be playing this game?
Well, yeah. I've played a lot of different LCGs and card games over the years, and I really like the cooperative ones. I was a big fan of Lord of the Rings. I'm a big fan of Arkham Horror, and basically all they had to say was new cooperative LCG. I'm like, sold. And it's got Marvel, which is probably my favorite theme that they've done so far. So I'm like super excited.
You're like, yes, please.
Yes.
Take my money.
Yes.
All right, Matt, who are you and why are you excited?
Well, I'm Matt, and I've got 23 years old, and I've got a long history of board games, card games, etc. Going back to like Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! When I was like 6.
Oh, man.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've been a fan
Good
of
stuff.
most of FFG's stuff, and I hear Marvel, and I'm a big comics fan, so I'm all on board on this. And the double heroes, I love double-sided cards.
Oh
They're
yeah.
Yes.
just so fun.
Gosh, Pokemon. I remember getting initially into Pokemon cards. Oh my gosh, it was... I never learned how to play it the real legit competitive way.
Oh yeah, no, like they have like all the whole like 4-3-2 for like the evolutions, but real Pokemon you do 3-3-3, and your whole deck of Pokemon's like 15 Pokemon only, because you get to reshuffle till you find a Pokemon.
No.
Yeah, so most of your deck isn't actually the Pokemon cards. And I found that out after. It's very interesting.
Carlos, tell us about yourself, man, and why are you excited?
I'm Carlos. I'm from the Dominican Republic. I'm about 30 years old, and I'm excited because I really like LCGs in general. I played a bit of Netrunner before I got into the cooperative LCGs. Play a lot of Lord of the Rings. Been playing that game for about 5 years, but got really into it last year when I decided to buy everything that existed for the game. And then I'm excited for this game because of two things. I feel it's a game that is much simpler to teach than the other LCGs, which have not been a hit with my play group. The Marvel aspect they really like, so that's gonna make me get people interested in it. And I also like the double-sided cards and the whole alter ego aspect. I think they just hit something so interesting there. At this moment, there's a lot of superhero-based games, and I don't think any of them have really played around that factor. And the way that it impacts gameplay here, and it just completely changes the way the villain is acting, I find it so interesting, which is what gets me more excited about playing this game. It's just like flipping my hero around, and the eventual Hulk hero, which we will not be able to control.
I mean, this game is going to be great, but you have 3 amazing designers of this game. I mean, Nate French, the godfather of like every single game. They have Caleb, who's our Lord of the Rings designer. He's amazing. And then the Netrunner designer, I don't remember his first name, Boggs, I think. He's a great designer because Netrunner was one of their best games until the emergency end of the game.
Yeah, like this game definitely has design power behind it. Like it's gonna go far as that goes. They've got their best talent on it. That's for sure.
And it's not just talent. It's like if you, at least in Lord of the Rings, you can really see how much Kaler has grown as a designer when you look at the last 3 or 4 sets, which have been just amazing, like example of great design, of just taking rules and coming up with interesting things that you can do about it. Like, I will say something to listeners who have not played any of these people's games before. don't think that that it's gonna be the same. Don't think that it's gonna be just scheme, kill a villain, scheme, kill a villain. They'll get some really interesting things in there.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure about it.
Yeah, and we'll
Yeah.
get to one of those in our news section.
Yes, I know. I'm so excited. Well, lastly, myself, my name is John, and I am 29 years old. I am a music teacher, so Sam, awesome connection there, man. I'm glad to hear somebody else studying music. I teach elementary K through 5, and I love it. And my gaming background, so growing up, like, I was mainly just video games. And then really what got me into, like, board games besides like Monopoly was playing X-Wing. I played X-Wing for several years. I still play casually, but I played competitive X-Wing for a long time. And that really kind of got me into the whole Fantasy Flight Games thing, and I got looking into their stuff. And my wife and I, we both love to board game, and we're both very competitive people. It's not healthy. So then I found out about the Lord of the Rings LCG, and I found out, I was like, it's a cooperative game, and both of us love Tolkien, and it's cooperative, so we can play together. So like Lord of the Rings was a godsend for us, and probably for our marriage in the long run, because we have a game that we can play together, and it's cooperative. And so then like that got me into Lord of the Rings, and I have almost completed my collection there. And so then they announced this Marvel game, and I'm like, oh man, superheroes! I can play as a superhero. I'm so excited because I've loved superheroes. Like Spider-Man has been my go-to superhero ever since I had like the old PS2 N64 Spider-Man game. I remember I played the crap out of that game growing up, and it was
Yet you haven't seen Far From Home.
No, I haven't seen Far From Home.
How can you not?
I haven't gotten a chance to. My guys that I have usually go to the theater and see these with just haven't gotten around to going to see it yet. So I'm like, please, guys, I want to go see Far From Home. Oh.
It'll be the last of Spider-Man you get to see.
Shut up. No, don't say that. All right, let's get on to our next segment. Sam, tell us about the news.
Okay, so we've had a couple articles. One was the games announcement, which, if you don't know what this game is, I don't know how you got to this podcast. They had their FFG live game in August. It's on YouTube if you want to go look at it. It was Caleb and Boggs and I don't remember, one of the hosts of FFG Live. They played against Ultron. They announced their 6 game mats, one for each hero, and then one of their quote-unquote 4-player game mats, which is really good for 1 player, but
you can maybe get 2.
Maybe, yeah. I got myself a Spider-Man mat. But and then our last article, the one we're going to really talk about, is they announced the Green Goblin scenario pack.
Dun, dun,
so the Green Goblin scenario pack is the first is going to be the first release after the core. It's the first scenario pack, and there are 2 scenarios in it. It looks like the 2 are going to be Risky Business, and I believe the Goblin Army.
Is it the Goblin Army? I was trying to look for the second one in the article.
Mutagenic Attack, I believe, is what the name was. I'll try and find it.
Okay.
Mutagen Formula is what I see.
Yeah, but it's going to be about him building a Goblin Army, which so in it talks about Risky Business, the first scenario, which you are trying to take down Norman Osborn's criminal business, which can't exist, but it's saying that Norman Osborn is so powerful that you can't come at him as a person. So this is our first villain who's going to be double-sided, almost like an alter ego and a hero side, except he's a villain.
I love that.
I love how Norman Osborn, I'm going to read him real quick. He's a villain with 2 schemes and a star for his attack. The star is the forced interrupt. When he would attack, place 1 infamy counter on criminal enterprises instead. And he has a forced interrupt. When Norman Osborn would take any amount of damage, remove that many infamy counters from criminal enterprise instead. And criminal enterprise is an entrance play with 2 per player infamy counters on it. If there are no infamy counters here, flip Norman Osborn in criminal enterprise. Norman, he flips into the Green Goblin, who has a star for the scheme and 3 attack. with the Goblin trait, he has when revealed, deal 3 indirect damage to each player in hero form, and his forced interrupt would be when he schemes. When Green Goblin would scheme, remove 1 Madness counter from State of Madness instead. So State of Madness is the flip side of the Criminal Enterprise. It says it enters play with 2 per player Madness counters on it. If there are no Madness counters here, flip Green Goblin in State of Madness. So it's this constant balance of trying to fight Norman, but you can only fight him when he's in the Green Goblin form. And it's this constant battle of you're going to be fighting between trying to fight the Green Goblin, but also stopping Norman from advancing his scheme too quick. Because with a scheme of 2, that's pretty
legit.
In Green Goblin mode, he has 3 attacks, and he does 3 when he flips to it. So he's going to be hitting you hard, and anytime you try to switch to hero to heal up from it, then he's comes down from his madness.
Yeah.
And keep in mind, this is only Green Goblin 1 and Norman Osborn 1. So imagine what 2 and 3 are going to look like.
Yeah, that's true.
Interesting. He has 14 hit points per player.
That's a lot.
So I think that's what Rhino is.
Is it?
Rhino 1.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I think
so.
Yeah, but
I think it's balanced out if you look at on the Norman Osborn side. When he's in attack mode, he just places more infamy counters, which theoretically can go on indefinitely without ending the game.
Yeah,
So you can
so,
sit there
he's
and
adding
without scheme building.
So he's gonna be. I feel like he's gonna be one of those longer game ones, trying to find a balance. But also, if you take notice, it says risky business. 1 of 24. So that means we are going to get a second Green Goblin villain card somewhere, hopefully.
Ooh.
We don't. They haven't spoiled that yet, but it does spoil some of his some of the modular encounter sets, and it also spoils his scheme, at least the 1B side. It's 7 threat per player to advance it. It goes up by 1 per player each round. I just don't know what the 2 per player. I think it starts with
It starts with 2 threat per player and then gets
Yeah.
+1 every other turn.
And it says when completed, place 1 per player infinity counters on Criminal Enterprise, then discard a card from each player's deck. So
For each infinity counter on Criminal Enterprise.
So I wonder if he's going to have a scheme as Norman and a scheme as the Green Goblin. I don't think that's how.
Well, no, the 1A is the setup instructions.
Right, and I'm not sure if they're going to have a 1C and D. They have some of those in Lord of the Rings. I don't think that's
No. It's just gonna be in this case, it's just gonna be hostile takeover and corporate acquisition, and then like if you finish hostile takeover, you'll go into corporate acquisition, and if they finish that.
Yeah, but then the modular encounter sets, it has the Goblin gimmicks, which is allows Osborn, or it says other villains. Imagine the Rhino with the Goblin glider.
Oh no!
Wow!
No, thank you.
So it's attached. The Goblin glider is attached to the enemy with the highest printed hit points, and without another Goblin glider attached. So you can't ride more than 1. If you cannot, this card gains surge. And it says hero action: spend 2 energy resources to discard this card. It has +1 attack, but on the bottom it has 3 boost icons. So if he's attacking or scheming, and you get that as a boost card, that's automatically 3. So he's scheming, he's scheming for 5.
That's
if he's attacking, for 6.
But the interesting thing about that's a part of the modular set. So you could potentially put it into a fight with Rhino, and you will have Rhino on a glider.
No, my gosh.
Yeah.
I can't wait to give this to Alt.
Talk about ramming speed. Jeez.
No, Rhino with Goblin glider and charge.
Oh,
that'd be so funny just to imagine. And then it spoils another one. It spoils pumpkin bombs, which is a weapon attachment with a star for the attack. It says attached to the villain. Forced response: after the villain attacks you, discard pumpkin bomb and take 2 indirect damage. Now we don't know what indirect damage means yet. because without the rules reference, it doesn't specify it.
Well,
'Cause
drawing
we're
off of there's Star Wars Destiny, they have indirect damage. It basically means you can assign it's non-targeted. You can just assign it however you want among your characters, and I feel like that's how
Oh.
and Arkham Horror also has direct damage, which must be assigned to you. So that feels like this will be 2 damage you can put anywhere.
That's
Okay.
my
that was
thinking.
my thought.
That's my thinking. But that's probably what's going to be. We'll find out when we get to those references. It's not.
There's one more card. You have to click to see
Yeah.
what it does. Is the
The
regenerative
regenerative
healing?
healing.
Yeah, you
Then-
can read it. You'll read better.
But also Pumpkin Bombs also has a hero action. Spend 2
Mind,
mind.
Is that mind? Yeah. Or is it
mind or
might?
genius.
I can't.
I think it's
Genius.
might.
I think.
No,
Oh,
genius.
it's the one
yeah,
that looks like a
that's-
fist, isn't it?
No,
That's
that's
might.
that's strength. Yeah.
Strength. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the strength. 2 strength resources describe that card. I'm not depending on. I think if you're playing a leadership deck, and if indirect works is the way we think it will work, I don't think this is a big. Oh, do you note it has 2 of the boost
boost
icons on it?
Yep.
And so the last card that it spoils is regenerative healing. It's a treachery. It says when revealed, the villain heals X damage, where X is equal to double the villain's stage number. If no damage was healed this way, this card gains surge. So if you're playing hard and expert, and you're healing 6 damage, and it also has a boost special. The villain heals 2 damage.
Hmm.
Ooh.
Oh, okay.
I think if you get this on a stage 1 villain, it's like heal 2 damage. I don't think that'll be as problematic. But if you're playing hard and expert, and you get heal 6 damage, and you were about to kill the villain, it's
one of
gonna
those
hurt.
cards that
Yeah.
gets worse as the game goes on, because as the game goes on, you've also done more damage, so you could be getting closer and closer to killing him, and then, oh hey, regenerative healing.
I mean, on the other hand, if
Fine.
you're drawing this, you're not drawing a bad thing or an enemy, and you can just punch them again.
That's true. You're not wrong.
And then it does say that the second scenario will be, it says, what will you do when the goblin army attacks in mutagen formula? So I assume it's just going to be a bunch of, the deck's going to be full of minions, and maybe they'll all get like attachments or something too. I think
Sounds like
that'll
we
be
need a ground stomp from She-Hulk.
Or a Black Panther.
Or a Black Panther, yeah.
I will notice one thing I noticed about Goblin gimmicks there. It says it has 8 cards in the encounter set. So Goblin Glider is number 2, and Pumpkin Bombs is 3. And we're missing the Genius icon on there. So I see 2 possibilities.
Ah.
Either there's 1 of each, or I feel like more likely there are 2 of each. So 2 Goblin Gliders, 2 Pumpkin Bombs.
There's going to be at least 2 of the Goblin Gliders because it says attached to the highest printed hit points without another Goblin Glider attached. So there's gonna
Oh
be
yeah,
more.
Right.
that's a good point.
So
So
there's gonna be 2.
Yeah.
So then 2, another 2, and then likely 2 with the Genius icon, and then Regenerative Healing is number 7 of 8, which will be the last 2.
So,
I
Possibly.
yeah.
am loving these boost icons. That looks like you're gonna be like with Spider-Man, and you're gonna like flip over the boost icon, and it's gonna be a 3, and you're gonna go suddenly. You're gonna be from 10 to 4.
That's what defense is
That's
for.
scary.
So defense is for. That's what backflipping is for. You should have backflipped.
Oh yeah.
On Spider-Man.
I discarded
Jump
my
out of the way.
backflip to pay for my Avengers Mansion.
Get it.
It's just I don't want to hate because the guy's playing and he's playing pretty well, but when he discarded the backflip and the swinging web kick to play the Avengers Mansion, I was like,
Oh.
Dude, I mean, I get
Oh.
it because Avengers Mansion is great. Like, don't get me wrong, that card's great, but like, those are 2 key cards.
Swing backflips, like, it's one of the most efficient damages you can do.
It's 3 for 8,
3
right?
For 8.
Yeah.
Yeah, 3 for 8.
And
On a
honestly,
single
you can
card.
get it down to 1 if you have 2 of the web shooters out because Spider-Man has really good ramp.
Mhm.
So like,
I mean, even with that, even 3 for 8, like, the aggression is 3 for 5.
and the I believe the neutral is 2 for
4.
3 or something like that. So like 3 for 8 is fantastic, and backflip's fantastic.
Mhm.
I think Spider-Man's almost basically all his cards are fantastic.
So good. So I have a question for these like ones that's like spend such and such resource to discard this card. How likely are y'all to do that? Because I'm looking at that and I'm just like, but I want to play my cards. I don't want to. I'll deal with this.
For the Goblin Glider, I think that I'll probably be doing it most of the time. It
Yeah.
depends on the hero that I have and what type of defense I have going. But +1 attack on a hero, on a villain, it's really strong.
All right,
And
so I'll play with you,
that's
Carlos,
simple.
and you can get rid of that.
And
I'll-
Yeah,
But, like sorry, imagine the situation, right? He has a Goblin Glider on him. Let's say he has whatever else is in his encounter deck that maybe it's boosting his attack, and then you get that boost card, and it's like another Goblin Glider that's 3 more. And even with just a Goblin Glider, now it's 7 damage. Like,
Yeah.
the difference between 6 and 7 is going to be huge when your hero only has 9 or 10 for Tony and Spider-Man.
It's one more turn that you can heal, that you can flip back to Alter Ego and heal back up again. And it's just like that constant +1. I mean, we play Lord of the Rings quite a bit, John, and you know how much difference it makes for a villain to get that +1 attack.
It's true.
And,
It's true.
And I think in this game it's going to be even worse. The other one, I will never.
I feel like you just deal with that.
I think I'd rather just end the game.
It's like, I got 2 points left.
Just
Just
for
save
comparison,
me.
you can play First Aid for 1 cost to heal that.
Yeah.
Right.
Or you
Well, I mean,
can
that
use
basically is
2
because you have to
tenacity.
decide something else. You
But that
basically
means you're playing First Aid, so that's your.
First Aid's not that. I mean, it's okay.
First Aid's great. Like,
How about
you can heal
okay,
allies.
so
You can heal allies.
have at the
Oh, you can heal allies
Right.
with it?
Yes.
Then sorry.
it's better than emergency. I was like, but I mean,
Yeah.
like, so in my Black Panther protection solo build that I'm building to beat Ultron Expert mode, I put 2 copies of First Aid in there because, like, you're gonna get to that point where you're just defending everything, and you're just gonna want but you don't want to flip back yet,
I'm
or you
gonna
want to use
take
your
a
hero that
moment.
turn.
I'm going to take a moment to present Sam to the audience. This is Sam, the guy that the game shut out. And all it's going to be the hardest quest in the hardest mode before the game comes out.
I'm gonna make sure Ultron has this Goblin Glider.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. Yeah, you gotta get rid of it then.
It's weird. The only hero I haven't really built and played around with is She-Hulk because she's just so good naturally. that I don't really
Yeah.
keep
Oh
her.
my
No,
gosh.
me too.
But like, she's my least favorite hero because she just doesn't interest me. But she's so strong by herself. Like, I could feel like I could pair her with almost anything, and it just be good.
Mm-hmm. She's got so
By the
much,
way-
especially if you put her like justice with her, she can just deal with everything. She does combat. She does scheme manipulation. You know, she's so good.
Coming back to this article, somebody mentioned like the minions a la Ultron, and then we're gonna get like Black Panther to kill them all. Something tells me that Goblin Army minions are not gonna be 1 health.
Probably
no.
not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're probably
I'm-
going to be minions in the deck, and because
Yeah.
Ultron's whole thing is he's taking over your deck, and that's the theme. This is going to be like they're massing up, and they're probably going to get one that fetches another one, or it's going to be like the weapons runner who surges. It's
And I think
Basically-
that, I mean, can I ask the lore guy, what's this Goblin Army thing?
The Goblin Army?
Yeah, what's the story behind that?
It doesn't usually pop up. The only one I can think of is Goblin Nation at the end of the Superior Spider-Man run, because normally Green Goblin doesn't like sharing.
Hmm.
Like he, especially like notable is the Hobgoblin. He doesn't like the Hobgoblin normally, but he built the Goblin Army and had them all in masks and gave a couple people a mutation.
But it
I
wasn't
guess-
just like random minions, or were these people with identities? Because that would affect, I think, the design of the quest. That instead of getting like tons and tons of minions, they're just like generic henchmen. Maybe it's like specific goblins with specific abilities, maybe a little bit unique.
The only one I could think of would maybe be like the Goblin Knight, but that he was called the Goblin King at that time. I don't know. Maybe I feel like it's gonna be a bit more generic.
Mhm.
That would be my guess.
Or at
Maybe it'll
least-
be like the
It won't be a specific
Master
name,
Beast.
but like it'll describe them like a big goblin. There'll be a big goblin probably, and there'll be like a vicious little guy.
Mhm.
Pumpkin Goblin. When he enters, put up pumpkin bombs on the villain, but the only way to get rid of it is spending the resources. It doesn't
Ah.
actually discard itself. But you can't win until you spend the resources.
Fine, I'll spend the resources. Or I'll make
That
Carlos
would
spend the
be brutal.
resources.
But there are attachments that you want in the core set that you want to discard. Claws, supersonic cannon, the one that stuns a hero every time it does. Claw does deal
Yeah, that's pretty
damage
bad.
to them. I would discard that immediately. And they, for some reason, if you watch the Team Covenant playthroughs, they didn't discard it at all. They just kind of let it sit there, and then a couple turns later, they're like, "Oh my god, what did we do?"
What have we done? We've made some bad life choices.
So I just discovered an interesting fact, or maybe you guys knew about this, but I just Googled, like in Google Images, Green Goblin Army, and I found the art for regenerative healing, which is just part of a comic book.
Huh?
So, which means that a lot of the art in this game may be just art from comics.
That's
Just
cool.
a panel taken out.
I'd be fine with that.
Not original art, which is interesting.
So
Well, there
oh,
are
go ahead, Sam.
there are credits on the bottom of the cards to who done them. I don't know who does comic book art. I wouldn't know their names. But like for something like Pumpkin Bombs, there's no credit on there for the illustration. So I'm assuming that's taken from a panel. The same thing with the glider.
Yeah.
But like if you go up to Green
Yeah,
Goblin,
no,
he has illustrator and his name, I can't read it.
Yeah.
This is going to be the Captain America hero art, by the way. I'm posting it in Discord.
I'm looking at this.
Oh no.
no.
Yeah, got him.
Okay.
Oh my god,
Oh
no.
god, no.
Listeners, you might be like, I don't like these people talking about art on the show. I think it's good that we're talking about it, not showing it.
For reference, this is the Rob Liefeld from After Heroes Were Born. From Heroes Were Born. It's Captain America, and it's
Just go on YouTube and search comic book an artist reviewing comic book art from good and bad, and
That's
this
a great
is the thumbnail.
episode. Yep.
It is terrible. But it's facing the other
It's
way.
like he has breasts.
well, no, but then there's the pecs though.
No,
Like-
it's like he's covered in a suit that has that drawn, and he just.
It looks like he's puffing out his chest and bending backwards, but sticking his neck forward.
I feel like there's some hidden feminist message here about like the size of breasts of women in comics, and they just gotta like, well, let's just put it on Captain America and see how that goes.
Oh, you might like. They did a series of covers with Hawkeye in various poses using the sexy Hawkeye poses, where they copy what they do for superheroines and
Oh my
put
god.
him in that.
All right, I'm
Weird
moving us. I'm
tangent.
ixnaying this. Family friendly. Family friendly podcast.
I'll
Oh,
tell you later.
I'm getting us back on track. Okay, I'm sorry I've done that. I love. We're getting back to the article. So
Okay.
real quick, that's the last thing. Then probably we should go ahead and move on for the sake of time. But I really like the idea of this modular encounter set thing. That makes me so excited that there's like encounter sets in this thing that I'm going to buy for Green Goblin. But then I can go back and I can put them in other sets and try them. That's so exciting to me. It makes everything so replayable, and it gives me a reason to maybe I don't like Green Goblin a whole lot, but hey, there's something in this pack. Maybe I want to mix it up in one of the other scenarios.
And you can put multiple. They said in the article, you can put multiple scenario encounter modular sets together, so you can have two, like the Goblin. You can have Hydra with them, and
I love that whole idea of
I think
modular.
there's
Thing
a
about
separate
that, too, is that if you are a low tier Lord of the Rings player and you see what they've done with the last two Gen Con quests,
Mm-hmm.
which is this competitive thing where everybody builds their own scenarios, then right out of the box, or at least until we get a couple scenario packs, you can actually emulate that competitive mode in this game. And you can make up a couple house rules. You can build a scenario for your buddy, and your buddy can build a scenario for you, and then you can see who can get through it faster.
That's actually really
and
cool.
That's
and
a
you
good
can
idea.
do that from the beginning. You don't have to wait for a special set or anything. Like from the beginning, you're going to be getting these scenarios, and you're going to be like, and it's also it's not also fun in a competitive way. It's also fun in a kind of thematic way, because you're like, how can I make? When other villain packs come out, what can I take to make the Rhino deck feel more like Rhino will be bringing, and he's going to be fighting other heroes than that Spider-Man. And I just feel like I love that. I love that idea that from the beginning you're going to be able to deck build encounter sets.
It really captures the team up feel of like a lot of like the Marvel team up. Like that's what made Marvel Comics big, is this team up of interconnectedness. And hey, Spider-Man teams up with the Thing, and they fight Doc Ock and Doctor Doom together.
What I love about this is that one of my favorite things with Lord of the Rings, the card game, is that I can completely play with the theme however I want to, because like there's nothing saying you have to play this year or this year. So I can have Gandalf go on some epic Mount Doom Black Gate run with Boromir and Treebeard. That would have never happened. And what I love about this is that you can do the exact same thing with the encounter deck now. So now I can make a.
Carlos, are you okay?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, so I'm gonna mute myself for a bit, because this really rich guy that lives close to me every year does a firework for his birthday.
Oh, wow.
Wow. What's great is I can make an encounter set where Rhino is riding a glider. That is hilarious to me. Like he's going like if you had the bomb scare one or whatever in there, and then this. And then he's like carrying a pumpkin bomb under his arm with the glider, running in with the glider, and rams through the wall with his horn. Like, just like imagining this is so funny to me. It's gonna make my time enjoying like waiting for the next pack or scenario to come out so much more fun, because I can just mess with the theme as much as I want.
Oh,
I
man.
love that.
Yeah. That's so great. I just love the image of Rhino on a goblin. Most fantastic thing.
Or like giving the Wrecking Crew when that comes out.
Oh
There's a
gosh,
bunch
give them
of
all
the
their own
goblins.
glider.
They all have a glider and bombs now.
Okay, well, let's move on. So that was the news. The Green Goblin, we're all super excited for that. And that's scheduled to come out, I believe, in November, which gets us on to our next topic, which is going to be release format. Let's talk a little bit, guys, about the release format for this game, which I think is, and like how it's so good. It's genius how they're doing this, like, and about how they're releasing product and what the format that they're releasing the product in. So in October, we are going to be getting our hands on this game. No news as to when, right? In October, just October.
Not specifically yet.
Right.
I can give a rough guess of what I think it'll be based off. I'm assuming it's going to be middle of October. I don't think they're going to wait till the end of it. So my guess is it'll come out. Do their games usually come out on Thursdays or Fridays?
It's Fridays now. They moved it back.
Yeah.
My guess is maybe the 11th.
Okay.
I'm gonna go say the 18th.
Yeah. It's got to be in that range somewhere, because I don't think they're gonna wait, because they probably want Captain America out for Christmas.
Oh, I'm sure they want him out. Yeah, they want as much part of this and get out before Christmas, because that's October to December is the months that time about Christmas.
December. I think we'll get him second week of December probably.
Yeah.
The 13th.
And we will try and let everyone know when, because I have a Team Covenant subscription. I will let everyone know when my card gets charged for.
Oh, there you go.
The game.
Okay.
So I'll know when I'm getting.
Nice. Yeah, I'm trying to convince a local game store around here to pick it up. They said they're going to look into it, and it's me and another guy that are definitely going to buy into it. So they'll said that if we both say we're going to buy from them, they'll probably stock it. So I'm really hoping, because I want to support an LGS, and I really want to try to build up a local player base as best I can.
I would love to too. It's really so I have a car on campus for my first years. Usually don't allow it. I have a pass saying I can have it, but my car is a 36-minute walk from my dorm,
Oh wow.
and then to get into the town where the game store is, I have to go another like 30 or so minutes. So it's just an
Jeez.
hour to drive out to the game store
You're in the
to pick
boonies.
something up, just to pick something up and go back because they're this store they have places to play, but like the Arkham Lord of the Rings group just go in, buy it, and leave. So it's a 2-hour trip to pick up a product that it's normally it's an hour drive to get back home to pick it up, and at that point I'm seeing family and friends, and so it's like I really want to support the store, but it's so out of the way that I
Yeah.
can't.
Sure.
Hey, I'm back. The fireworks stopped.
Did you go tell him what for? Did you give him the old 1-2?
No, I mean last year we were so nervous. Our kid was like 5 months old, and it was just like we got him to bed, which is so hard at that time. And then like at 2 a.m. in the morning, today was a lot earlier, but that time was like at 2 a.m. in the morning.
Oh
It
god.
just goes off, and I'm gonna send you guys a video. I took a video this time, and you're gonna see it's like it's just right next to my apartment building, and it's really big. It's like and it's a house because rich people in the Dominican Republic.
Excuse me, sir. I'm recording a podcast. You
Sorry.
need to just shut up. It's just fireworks.
1-2 punch.
Okay. So
I'll send the video, but don't listen to it. Well, don't open it when we're still podcasting because.
okay, so we've got core set in October. Then the other the types of packs that they said they're going to have villain packs, which we've already talked about, one, the Green Goblin. And then they're going to have hero packs, which right now we know Miss Marvel and Captain America. Captain America in December, Miss Marvel in January, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, and then the other thing, I think they called them campaign boxes. Now these are going to be like big overarching stories that stretch through multiple campaigns, kind of like the scenario boxes, honestly, in Lord of the Rings.
And the other LCGs, you'd call them deluxe boxes, I guess you'd say. Like in Arkham, you have deluxe boxes. You have them in L5R.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I believe they said the campaign boxes will come with 2 new heroes and their playable decks, and then 3 scenarios, I believe is what they said. And the
They
scenarios
said
will all
3
be
to 5.
connected.
It'll vary based on it. It'll have a collection of heroes and villain cards mixed together as opposed to the hero and villain decks.
I am very excited for that because 2 heroes in one box, all their decks, a whole story to play through. Like I know it's on everybody's mind, but like I'm thinking like, oh, Infinity Gauntlet. If they do like, how would they do that? You know, like I feel like that would have to be
Disney's
several
going to-
campaign boxes.
I think the
Thanos
campaign
gets an
boxes will have the. Wait, sorry.
Thanos is going to get an attachment, Throne of Skulls, or Kiss of Lady Death. It's going to be them making out as the.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I think campaign boxes will be there's the most variance in what's in it compared to the other packs. Because like one, they'll have like a bigger campaign and maybe only one hero. But in another, you might have a bunch of heroes in a smaller campaign.
Right.
So they said they typically are going to do campaign boxes around 5 months apart. But I can't remember which video it was in, but someone said that they were going to. The first campaign wouldn't be released till about the middle of next year. So I think after that, it's going to be around 5 months apart as they're going to try and release a new campaign box. But I imagine that's going to take a lot more designing and testing.
Well, here's a little behind the scenes that a lot of people don't realize. They print the cycles all together. So Captain America, Wrecking Crew, they've already printed it all together. They just space out the releases.
Mm-hmm.
So that I think even though they're not calling it a cycle, they still have cycle of 6 packs just because that's how their printers work.
That makes sense.
And I feel like the campaign boxes will be in between each of these cycles then.
Yeah. I love the whole campaign. I'm super excited. I can't wait till they announce it. I want to know what story they're doing first.
Yeah.
That I feel that whatever rules the campaigns are going to have, will probably need for you to have a bigger card pool, and that's why they're waiting on it so much.
Yeah, they're not
Maybe.
going to release a campaign box first because the first campaign box is like can't use Iron Man in this campaign. Well, now
I
that's one
think they'll
hero
go that.
down.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe they just want they don't want people to get burned out by buying like a box and then another big box. They want
Yeah,
to
the
pick
packs
up
are a
the
bit
pieces little
easier to
bit.
buy into. So it's like, hey, pick up this deck, pick up this villain.
Right.
It just gives them, and it's a bit wider for a release because
Yeah.
it gives you more diversity of stuff.
Okay, so what I think is interesting about this release model that not many people are seeing is that I don't know in the case of you guys, but I buy everything that my friends play when it comes to like this type of game. And for the first time, this game might change it up a bit because if I ever don't want to buy a hero, or I have a couple of friends who are very big fans um of like Thor or the Hulk or Wolverine, and if they come out in packs, I see them. I can be like, you know what, I'm not gonna buy it, but if you want to play as that hero, you can buy it, and you don't need to buy anything else. You still got all the scenarios at my home. When we get together, you're part of it's with me that you're gonna play. But you can spend that. You can have that pack of that hero that you like. You have a functioning deck, and it's a fun thing. So it kind of emulates that happens in competitive games where everybody has their own deck and everything. At least for groups that are like me, when it's only one player who's collecting.
Sam, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say, I saw some people talking around now. When you said buying, they didn't want to push people to buying a big box and then a campaign box. Is some people are saying that you need 2 core sets and to play a 4-player game, but it really depends on the amount of each card they put in there. But
You're talking about in the core set?
Playset of each card. Yeah, there's supposed to be a playset of each card, but some people are saying that for cards like Energy and Genius and Strength, that they're only going to put one of each because you can only have one per deck.
Yeah.
I think that's incorrect. From what I've understood, each of them, like those cards, there are 4 copies.
There's 4 cards of every neutral card.
Of every neutral card, yeah, and and every unique card, there are 4 copies of each one. I believe there's enough for you to have one in every deck. So yeah, and that's one of the other great things we need to talk about with this, y'all. The core set, you only need to buy one. That's amazing.
There are cards like Haymaker, First Aid, but you don't want that in every deck.
No, well, yeah.
Some people are. Go ahead, Sam.
There are problems with some people I saw. They're like, "Oh, I have to buy 2 core sets to build 2 decks with all energy," and then I was like, "I'm pretty sure you don't have to do that." And they're like, "No, for uniques, we're only going to include 1 copy of each." I said, "No, for the neutrals, you're supposed to include 4." And they're like, "No, that's not how it works." And I was like, "All right, well, buy 2 core sets, and then when it comes and you have 2 core sets that you don't need
it. You will want to, if you want to play aggression, you will want to.
What I would say to people is that even if you want to have that, I want to keep all my decks built at the same time. Just stop and think about buying that second core set at least until you bought some hero packs and you see how many of those cards you really need. Because it might seem like Avengers Mansion, it's no question card. It's something that you're just gonna play on everything, on every deck that you have. So you gotta have 3 core sets. So you can have 10 decks, and all of them with 3 copies of Avengers Mansion. But you don't really know what's coming down the line. You don't really know if other heroes are going to be so different in the way that they play that a card like Avengers Mansion is something that you don't want to take in. I'm probably wrong, but just take the time to think about it before making that decision.
The designers said there's going to be reprints, and like at the very least, I expect Energy, Genius, and Strength to be in those reprints, but we don't know the exact what being reprinted, and Adventures Mansion might be one of those reprints.
Yeah.
And, it is, I think, buying a second core set is, one of the laziest things you can do because it is not that hard to move one card if you play solo. No, in multiplayer, it's different. It is not hard to move one card from one deck to another. I had 3 different Lord of the Rings decks built at once that all ran in Elrond's Council. And I just moved them over because I used the same sleeves for my decks, so it was not a problem. I just looked through it, I found it. Usually at the end of the game, I would just put it at the back anyway because I knew it was in the other decks. It's not that hard, and I think buying it spending $60, it just feels like you're being lazy for a second course.
I want to just Save 5 seconds on my life, Sam. Like, come on.
5 seconds.
I think
or
that's
you wanna
worth
save
$60.
Some guy just blew a lot of fireworks on his birthday. I'm just gonna buy, instead of fireworks on my birthday, just gonna buy 4 copies of this course.
There you go. 4 copies. You heard it here,
I'm
folks.
not gonna waste time. I'm not gonna waste time on my decks. I'm not gonna even waste time on my custom scenario sets. So I'm gonna, have my 3 versions of a Rhino deck ready to go.
Oh man.
Like,
Someone was actually talking on one of the Discords about getting like 3 core sets.
man, that's ridiculous. Why would you? Now this game turns from a $60 game to a $180 game just for a couple copies of extra cards, and that's ridiculous, dude. It is not that hard to move over. If you're supplying for one group, okay, I understand buying a second one, but maybe
Just proxy.
right.
That too.
It's being lazy and spending $60 just to be lazy, and I like you do you, but I'm not going to spend an extra $60 to not move a card over when I use the same sleeves for this reason.
You heard it here, folks.
Oh.
Official Deck-celsior advice is buy 1 core. Just buy a core and be patient. Just see what you can do.
Yeah,
and just
there
see.
you go. There's this guy who bought 4 core sets, and
Jeez.
then he said, "I wish they don't do power creep." It's like, well, you
Uh,
decided to get the more
How
core
long have you
sets.
been
If
playing
they
card
do power-
games?
If they do power creep and your cards aren't validated, it's like that's your fault.
That's
Also,
kind of card
what
games.
if they are? What if they like release like an errata list or like or what Arkham did with the taboo list later on, and it's like you can't use, let's say, Energy, Avengers Mansion, Strength, and Genius like later on, just as an example, because like you want the game to be harder for you now, and now you have 16 copies of all those cards that you can't play anymore because you spent $200 something on those cards. I mean, obviously they didn't enforce it with Arkham, so you don't have to. But like, don't be lazy.
Okay, let's move on.
So-
Let's move on.
One last thing,
okay,
if I
Carlos.
could say, John. One reason for people to buy multiple core sets. Then FFG, they're gonna learn that they can still do full play sets. Sell multiple core sets. So from now on, we're just making sure that they do it that way.
Carlos is saying don't encourage bad behavior. So that's the core set. The villain packs are of course going to be great. More modular encounter sets. What villain are y'all excited for? Let's just go. Sam, what villain are you excited to see?
Well, since I already announced Green Goblin, I'm not going to say him because he was the one I really wanted to see. But I think if I have to, I want to see the Sinister Six.
Ooh.
But like, I don't know how they would do that. Maybe that'll be in a modular encounter set. And,
I think it might be
the head,
a campaign.
Oh, they
that
could
would
do the
be
campaign.
awesome. But
Cause
like,
there's
they've
a
already done
particularly
Rhino.
good.
Go ahead, Matt.
Sinister Six is a bit different, and they did a story called "The Ends of the Earth" for I believe it was Spider-Man maybe 600,
Mhm.
but it was a good story. Basically, the Sinister Six, and they go pretty much Avengers level, and they've done it a couple times where they go face off with the Avengers, and like Doc Ock gets vibranium arms, and like they fight the Hulk.
Ben, what villain are you excited to see?
Well, I would say Magneto probably. I'm kind of boring, but that also might be a campaign box.
Yeah, those are the big villains. That's a big name.
If they bring in like the X-Men, the Brotherhood, I mean, maybe or maybe not. Who knows? But I'm excited for that.
Time will tell. Matt, what villain are you excited to see come out?
This one's a bit obscure. It's kind of new and yet also old. Called the First Firmament.
First Firmament. All right, whose villain is he or she?
Well, the Ultimates, like the main universe Ultimates, because after the Secret Wars, they had like this team of Ultimates to solve ultimate problems.
Oh, there you go.
And like their first thing was fixing Galactus, and they did. So basically, there's like the multiverse, and there's an embodiment of the multiverse called Eternity.
Mhm.
But he's not the first Eternity. There's been they called them omniverses before this, and the First Firmament was the first thing that ever was.
Mhm.
Wow.
And basically, he's upset that there's a bunch of other stuff and a bunch of division. He just wants to be all that there is again.
I can imagine this being
Campaign
like
bot.
the last thing that you see.
No, like yeah, he's a seriously cosmic,
So
super
it's
cosmic.
like they
Can
just
I change my
released
answer
it
to Cosmo?
Cosmo.
Cosmo's not a villain. He's good
Can
though.
I make him a hero?
Oh, that'd be great.
Carlos,
Yeah.
what villain are you excited to see come out?
I have to go with Magneto too.
Magneto too.
Yeah.
is my all-time favorite comic book villain. He's so interesting. I think that just from a design, like graphic, he feels so imposing, and at the same time, his story is so full of humanity that I need Magneto as soon as possible. Also, I think there's a case to be made that Magneto comes in his own villain pack, and we get a campaign against Apocalypse, and Magneto should be a hero there.
Oh, I mean, there's no reason
Oh,
they couldn't
yeah,
do
Age of
some.
Apocalypse.
There's some of the heroes that kind of fall into the more anti-hero hero line. They could do like villain and hero versions. There's no reason why
So
not.
I would love for
Well-
us to eventually have a hero, a ally, not an ally, a hero Magneto.
That would be
so
cool.
amazing.
Magneto
Have
did
his
nothing
alter
wrong.
ego come in, like
Yeah.
I don't know, that just be awesome. So
I cannot wait for the leadership deck that's going to be Professor or Charles Xavier and Professor X, but it's going to be like a leadership deck, and all the allies are going to be X-Men allies.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Oh no, the card. To me, my
Fantastic.
X-Men.
yeah. To me, my X-Men, yes.
That'll be a card.
Oh my gosh, that's so great.
Like I can't even imagine what effect they'd put on that card. But it has to be so good.
They could also like, and the villain of that could make that a campaign, honestly, and one of the villains could be Dark Phoenix. Though I think we've seen a lot of her recently, and not a good way.
Yeah, not a good one. I'm super
Yeah.
excited for Venom. I want Venom. He is my favorite villain of Spider-Man.
as a villain or a hero, too.
Either. He's one of those. He's another one that I think you could like make a hero and a villain version of him.
Well,
Yep.
there is there's Agent Venom, and they could
Yep.
use him as a hero.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
What hero are you least excited for?
What hero am I least excited for? Oh gosh.
Oh,
I have to
Mine's
say,
Namor the
Wrecking
Submariner.
Crew.
well, that's a villain.
Oh, a hero.
Yeah, what hero? Like, I say, I don't know, like Miss Marvel. I don't know a whole lot about her, and I know this is kind of sad because this one that's coming out right now, but like, I don't know a whole lot about Miss Marvel, so I'm not super excited. I mean, it's made me curious, and I've like Googled and looked up a little bit about Miss Marvel, but I'd like so. But I don't know. I kind of want to save this question because our next episode we're going to try to do stuff on hero cards. So I kind of want to wait and save more of the hero questions for next episode, and when we get more into heroes, like what hero are you excited about? So
Mm-hmm.
let's put that question on pause and come back to that one. So that's hero packs, core set. We got villain packs, campaign boxes. We've got so much content coming out for this game, everybody. It's going to be amazing. And the fact that it's monthly, I mean, if they can keep going monthly, every month you get a new thing to play with. It's going to be great.
We get
Oh,
stuff
yeah.
to talk about.
Yeah, yes,
I guess we
content.
Like I think we could talk a bit more about like just say what's in the hero packs because like some people might still be unclear what's in it.
Okay, yeah, let's go
'Cause
into
we
that.
talk about it, like the hero pack. You're gonna get the hero. You get a full 40 card playable deck out of it from one of the aspects. You get their obligation and their nemesis for the encounter deck. But that still leaves a bit of room, which a lot of us, well, some of us are thinking will be some other cards that you can just slot into other
Oh,
packs.
I think they confirmed that I don't know. In my mind, there's somewhere where Caleb said that you're gonna get some extra cards that are not necessarily from the
For like
sphere.
leadership for cap.
Yeah, they could be like protection or they can be
Aggression or justice.
Yeah.
So they're just like extra cards that are to just make your enrich your collection without necessarily going
Interesting.
into that deck.
Yeah, that way we don't have to wait like a couple, like 3 or 4
6
months
months.
before we get
Yeah.
our first like justice thing. Not that justice needs it at the moment. from
But
what
like
it looks
no, people like new
But,
stuff.
like-
They want something new.
Right, but like it's. I don't think they're gonna make us wait 6 months for another, for just a couple new cards, or not a couple, but like enough
A
new
single new
cards for the
Justice.
thing.
hmm
So, and I'm pretty sure I heard Caleb say that too. But my guess is that Miss Marvel is gonna be protection, just because she's on the art of get behind me.
Well, there you go.
And yeah, she's a protection kind of hero.
All right. Well, guys, this has been awesome. I love it. Do we have anything more to add? Final thoughts? I think we're starting to hit the hour mark, so let's just go down. Carlos, any final thoughts?
I am actually just trying to find out if that is true, that the hero packs are going to come with other cards.
That's not confirmed anywhere. It'll be vague rumor, or at best, I'd say. We'll probably find out when Cap gets announced, probably in September.
I feel like I got fingers crossed that we get new news this week.
I would love it.
No, it's usually 3 months ahead, so December will be in September.
Yeah.
Well, maybe new news about maybe they'll release the rules sometime soon. I really wanted to get into that rules reference and get reading. And just
that'd be
all
good.
of the comedy.
Yeah. Matt, final thoughts?
Well, I gotta say, for the release format, this is the best FFG has ever done for an LCG. It fixes most of my complaints for a lot of it, and they should really learn from this for the rest of their games.
Yes.
Because I just love how the distribution is, and even if they took just the single core thing, that would help the health of the games a lot, I'd say.
Yeah.
Just getting people into it.
Ben, your final thoughts?
I'm just very excited for the game. Can't wait for October. It's gonna be so exciting.
I know.
Oh my gosh.
It feels like the months are going by so slow.
I know. Oh my gosh.
Sam, final thoughts?
Yeah, I think there was a couple things. One of them was while we've been talking, I've been on Marvel DB just building through my Black Panther deck. So you know how all the attachments are like discard these resources? Vibranium is so good. 2 wild resources, you can pretty much get rid of anything. I think I believe I remember I don't know who said it. It'll probably be better if we talk about it in the scenario in the hero stuff. Actually, I'll save it.
All right. It's
a cliffhanger.
Yeah. I can't wait for this game. I think everybody here is so excited. This game's already got a community, and it's not even out yet. Like, that should show you just the excitement for this game. People can't wait to get their hands on it. I can't wait to get my hands on it. And on that note, let's close this out, Matt.
Until next time, true believers, Deck-celsior.